Welcome into this segment of Behind the Pen presented by mostvaluablepodcast.com. If you want to listen to the full podcast, go to blogtalkradio.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Also, we're on iTunes, so check us out there as well. Thank you all for listening as always, and enjoy the show.
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome in, my friends, to another episode of Behind the Pen. My name is Mike Rankin, and today I have a very special edition of this show for you. Strictly Chicago Cubs, and I have a good friend of mine, close with the organization, been a fan for so long, Miss Brittany Dole, the talented, the lovely. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Oh, Mike.
Oh, stop.
So good to see you.
I know,
Thanks
it's great.
for having me.
Thank you so much for jumping on. We're going to talk nothing but Cubs baseball today. I know you're close with the Cubs. They've been near and dear to your heart, as they are to me.
Yes, of
So
course.
I'm going to ask you a lot about stuff and things. We're going to get into it. Also, just a note for those listening on YouTube and blogtalkradio.com/Behind the Pen, I'm doing another show. And the next one is going to be strictly Major League Baseball talk. I'm going to preview the season. But for right now, all Chicago Cubs with my good pal, Brittany. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have this conversation. We're going to preview the 2017 season. That'll be later on. We're going to talk about your specific experiences because I hear that you had a special kind of time during Game 7 of the World Series. We'll get into that. We're going to talk about them winning the championship. We're going to reminisce. We're going to talk about relationships. Oh, it's going to be fun. So thank you all for tuning in here on Most Valuable Podcast. I'm so much looking forward to it. So let's get into it. First of all, defending World Series champions. How does that feel to actually say it out loud?
I feel like we should even take a minute just to realize that's real life. But isn't that something?
I know. You're not really used to it, right? I guess like when you thought about it happening, you're like, okay, you picture it in your mind, right?
Right.
When it actually happens, but then it actually happened, and you're just, it's just a realization sometimes that doesn't sink in until maybe, I don't know, a year and a half later, 2 years,
Right.
10 years?
Maybe even 10.
20 years?
Who knows?
So it's one of those things like, I've been waiting for this for so long. Every 11/11, I've been wishing for the
Yep.
Cubs to win the World Series.
I'm with you.
Every birthday wish. But all right, so I have to ask you this question because I already kind of know the answer to it. Where were you for Game 7 of the World Series last year when they won it all?
I was there in the flesh in Cleveland.
Unreal.
In the bleachers.
How did you get those tickets, by the way?
I bought them on StubHub.
Yeah?
Yep. My mom said go for it. The night before, I was supposed to be registering for classes. Mm-hmm. And
Responsible college
Oh,
student.
yeah. But nope, I was on StubHub around 12:30 at night, right before that. It was that day. And I was kind of losing my mind because I didn't know the park. I'm like, I don't know where to sit.
Yeah.
And I found some bleacher tickets for a pretty decent price.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, for Game 7 of the
Oh,
World
yeah,
Series, I'm
I mean-
sure you paid a pretty penny.
Yeah, it was. Thanks to my mom. She's the best.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mom.
Oh, my gosh. But that's something that you'll never forget.
Oh, no. It's so worth it.
So, all right, I also have a personal experience of where I was during Game 7. They actually won on my birthday.
I know, that's pretty awesome.
I know, it
What
was
a
actually
gift.
it was unbelievable. But I have to ask you your experience first because
Okay.
let's go back to Game 7. Now we got to remember it is probably one of the most intense games, winner-take-all games in all of history of sports. I could argue. Honestly, one, I'm a little biased for Cub fans. Obviously, we're going to
course.
say that. But when you look at it, seriously, we have never seen a baseball game with so much on the line, given the history of both squads. Right?
Yeah.
Cleveland hasn't won in over 60 years. The Cubs obviously 108.
Yep, it was. I honestly don't know how I survived it. That sounds a little dramatic, but if you ask my best friend Allie, she thought she might need a medic a few times during the game.
Oh,
it was
yeah?
just so up and down, and my emotions were everywhere, like pretty much the whole country and world watching. But just to be there, the experience, I mean, honestly, I feel like I could write a book about it, just all the emotions I
just one game.
experienced. Yes, just one game. And I just feel so blessed that I was able to go, and I still can't believe it. I tear up just thinking about it.
I know,
but
the chills.
I brought Kleenex just in case, because I know I just get goosebumps, and it's just the time of my life and something I'll never forget. And that's why I think I do want to write it down, just because the little things you might forget, and I don't want to.
Absolutely.
I don't want to forget any of it.
And I think that kind of resonates with a lot of people too, because whether how old you are, how long you've been a fan, it means something super special. And I am so envious that you were actually there to experience Chris Bryant slipping on that grass down the third baseline, throwing it across to Rizzo. Oh my gosh, when he let go of that ball, I was like, don't throw it over his head.
I know.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, I'm looking back at the game, and Dexter Fowler, first inning, first batter, hits a home
Lead off.
run. What was the atmosphere like in the stadium?
Well,
Because there were a lot of Cub fans.
honestly, I felt like I was the whole stadium was Cubs fans at that point. It was so loud. And I said, well, for starting out like this, I had a good feeling.
Yeah, right, this is it.
It felt magical. It was like almost when you watch a movie or a baseball movie and you see the stadium, it was electric.
Oh, I believe.
And I couldn't even really, fathom that I was in a visiting ballpark, and it just felt so right. So, oh man,
So many Cubs
I'm getting
fans.
chills just thinking about
I know.
it. Yeah.
So many Cub fans filled, what is that, Progressive Field in Cleveland?
Progressive Field.
And I haven't been there. Is it nice? Is it big?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I can't say one
Pretty
bad
clean.
thing about it. Yeah, it was very clean.
Awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, World Series Game 7.
Oh, it was
obviously.
incredible. Just driving up, I still, right now, thinking about it, seeing the field, and
That's great.
It was incredible.
So we're going to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have to go through, run by run, which I would love to.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Wilson Contreras, double off the wall, unbelievable.
Maybe another time.
Yeah, another time. Right. But what was the thought? I know when it was Kyle Hendricks coming in,
Right.
and he walked the batter, which, by the way, that was a strike. He shouldn't have walked that guy. Got him to first base.
Don't get me started.
With 2 outs, in the 4th inning or 5th inning?
Fourth or
inning?
fifth, something like that.
I believe it may have been the 5th inning because he went 4 2/3, something like that.
Yep.
So he walks the batter, and Joe Madden pulls him, and he
Right.
said prior to the game, I'm not going to put in John Lester for this
Right.
situation, and, only a clean inning. 2 runs score. Bounces the ball, hits David Ross in the face.
I know.
And it's all of a sudden after the Cubs were up 5-1, it's
Yep.
now 5-3. David Ross is cold coming into the ball
Yep.
game. You're just like, what is happening?
I was sweating.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
man.
was that when the anxiety started to rise? Or was it like at a peak throughout?
It's hard to say because I was just a mess to begin with. Because I just knew we're either going home so happy or I'm going to be crying the whole. Well, I was going to cry either way
Right.
the whole way home, which I did. But that's when it really set in, especially because I could see, I was in the bleachers, so I saw the bullpen. I could see like Arrieta warming up.
Right.
I'm like, what is going on? I couldn't control myself. I don't know what I would have done if my best friend wasn't there because she's like, it's going to be fine. It's fine. That was her trademark. It's fine.
That's good. You have someone to be like, all right,
Right,
it's no big deal.
Right.
David Ross, next inning, home run, unreal. Atmosphere must have been electric.
Oh, man.
Papa Daddy Ross.
I cried.
Oh, I believe it.
I did, Mike.
I believe it. But Rajai Davis, when that happened, what was going through your mind?
I started crying.
Yeah.
I said, either the curse is real, which I really didn't believe it was.
Of course.
But at that moment, I said, this cannot be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started to hear the Indians fans, and they're like, oh, it's true. And, this guy behind me was heckling me for my Sano jersey. And I said, I'm just going to get back in the right frame of mind. They can do it. This is history. We've, never been in this, moment like this in so long. You can't screw it up. So I did, 50-50. I was like, I could go either way, obviously, but
Yeah, when that happened,
it was rough. I was feeling sick. I felt nauseous.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, you were at the highest point. You're
Yeah.
like, this is actually going to happen.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, we're tied late in the game, in the 8th inning, and you still had to get outs to get out of the inning. It was just, I couldn't do it. If you asked me to live through that game again without knowing the outcome, I would say, hell no.
I know. I agree with you because my health,
Yeah, right.
right there
It's
at
at
that
risk.
point, I'm like, you know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be getting this upset, but I was. I felt
So-
my blood sugar dropping, blood pressure.
We all know the story. Jason
Right.
Hayward with the, magical $189 million speech in the locker room. And then all of a sudden, they win. So they win. And what was the celebration like in Cleveland? Like, did you have,
Okay.
so how long were you at the ballpark? And just take me through it.
Okay, so we get to the ballpark a few minutes before first pitch. It took a while actually to get in and everything. It's Game 7 though. So I was there up until I wanted to see them celebrate, obviously. At first I had to cry for a while. I took my pictures underneath the sign that said World Series champions, which still, just saying that, it's amazing. So, we decided about a half hour after, because, all the Cubs fans went, to behind home plate, so we all kind of went around. But we walked around the park. We even went up to the upper deck just to see every aspect of what was going on, because I didn't want to just be in one spot. I wanted to just say, I want to absorb this. So we walked around, and I was really thirsty because we went all the way up to the upper deck, and I'm like, I don't know if I can take this. So then we come back down, and, I took my pictures, and it was just a feeling. I'll never forget it. It was the best. And leaving, I was offered a good amount of money for my ticket stubs, and I said,
Oh, no way. No
never.
way. You got to keep
I
that
said, this
forever.
is going with me to my grave. This is it. And it was pouring rain when we got out of there. And we were soaked, and it was just like straight out of a movie. It was amazing. I didn't even care. I'm like, this is beautiful. But someone said it to me in the bleachers. They said, a little rain stops a drought. And I just started bawling.
Come on.
I said, put that on a Hallmark card. That is just the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
I mean, given the situation, oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, Mike. It was incredible. But just the whole experience I had in the playoffs and just, it's been the time of my life, and I'm so blessed, and I've been a fan my whole life.
Yeah, so obviously you can just tell from the stories that we're talking about, you can just feel the energy from our voices. This is how much the Cubs mean to us, and I understand all of the Cub fans who are listening. We appreciate you, and we get you. We understand how much it means to you, and we bring this up. We wanted to open that up because it's special to us, and you have a special connection with the Chicago Cubs, and I've known you for a couple years now, and you told me something that I can't fathom in my head. You met, you have some sort of special relationship with the Ricketts family?
I do. I'm very blessed by this relationship. I actually befriended Todd Ricketts. I met him at the Chicago Auto Show 2 or 3 years ago, and I didn't know them before. This was a chance meeting, and I still can't believe, it's just, what are the odds?
So how did you run into him?
Well, the thing is, it's a fancy event. It's the opener. So I was wearing, a nice dress, and I was having my mom take my picture. And this guy above, there's a few steps up, he's like, oh, I have a better angle, kind of joking around. And I look at him. I'm like,
you kind of look familiar.
I was like, you look like one of the Ricketts. And
right.
He's like, I am. Which one? And I said, Todd. And he said, well, that's me.
Oh, my goodness.
And, the running joke is my mom said, oh, yeah, come on, don't be so gullible. So she says, let me see your license. So he does it, and it's him. So we started, we were laughing, and I said, I'm a huge Cubs fan, and he could probably tell because, you recognize someone and they know. And, he said, oh, are you going opening night? I said, I'm trying to get tickets. He said, oh, I'll take care of you.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's when we started talking, and he's a fantastic guy. I have nothing but great things to say about that entire family. They've been so nice to me, and the experiences that I'll be able to tell my kids about just because I'm blessed with this kind of connection. And they're a fantastic family. They really are.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of the experiences you've had, maybe some of the events that they hosted that you were able to go to?
Yeah, I actually, the opening night after I met him, I was able to go to a rooftop party, and it was just incredible to be, a guest of them.
Sure.
And they treat you like, you're not just a fan, you're a friend. And I appreciated that, and I was able to go to the playoffs, and they had some parties before and after, and I've met a ton of cool people, and it was just, I'm telling you, it was like a dream.
And really, we go back, so you have a relationship with the Ricketts family, it seems like that just by chance now, all of a sudden, I mean, it seems like you have some sort of legitimate connection there that you can actually have for a while. And when you look at the Chicago Cubs organization, really when the Ricketts family took over for the Tribune Company, what was that, in 2009? Or 2010,
sounds about right.
Around that time, that's when you started seeing the changes coming around Wrigley Field, because you see it now, some of the designs. Obviously, they have the long-term dispute with the rooftop owners with the renovation process, but now it's starting to take shape. Field looks beautiful.
Oh, I know.
And it was a long time coming, but my goodness. I mean, the scoreboard, beautiful. Obviously, the 2 scoreboards on the left field wall, great. And people, the traditionalists may have, been skeptical, but I mean, how can you say no to this, what you have right now?
Oh, I know.
And plus, around the area now, it's sort of turning into a ballpark like community. You know what I'm saying? Like similar to what Boston has, where Boston, near Fenway Park, they close off streets on game days. And they have it's an extension of Fenway Park around the area. And that's sort of where the Cubs are going. I don't know if you saw pictures of the new plaza.
I did. I was looking at them
Beautiful.
Today. They're going to do movies in the park. This is going to be something that everyone can enjoy.
And we really have to give credit to the Ricketts family.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They're, they know what they're doing. They love the team, and I've seen that firsthand, being close to them.
And that's somebody that, like, you look at the other organizations, and when you have an ownership that loves the fans, and they do, and they want to win.
Yep.
I mean, it happened. Really, when the Cubs won, Theo Epstein took over. One of the trademark signings in the history of the organization is grabbing Theo Epstein in the offseason 2011. You see it. 5 years. And we look at this Cubs team now, and I'm not going to jump ahead here because we're going to preview the 2017 season. Don't get us wrong. But when you look at the Cubs team that won in 2016, this really wasn't supposed to happen this quickly.
I know,
because
it
you have
fast.
a full roster of young players, right? 26, 24, 25.
Oh, yeah.
And then a mixture of veterans. And I think that was the year. 2016 was it. Everything flowed. And I tell you what, when Dexter Fowler signed in February, when he walked onto Mesa and he said, well, I'm coming back for one more year.
Yep.
That was it. That was it for me. I was like, pencil it in. Cubs are going to win the World Series this year, and they did it.
You got to hear this, though. So I think it was the NLCS. I was at Wrigley Barbecue beforehand because I had to get to the game like 8 hours before, because there's traffic and all that. So this nice family that was there, they've spent a lot of money on tickets. We were talking to them, and he said, "Do you know how many stitches are in a baseball?" And I knew, and he said 108. And I just knew, it's like right there, the universe I felt like it lined up, and I just said, this is it.
It's like when you looked at it, things that went the Cubs' way don't usually go the Cubs' way.
I know.
I mean, that happened so often this season.
The rain.
The rain delay, I mean, that was huge. How about when David Ross juggled the ball and Rizzo was there to catch it?
I know.
It's like occurrences such as that. I'm like, this is it.
Yep.
I mean, stuff's going right. But I'm glad you brought it back to the conversation we were having a little before because I forgot to mention my experience.
Yep.
It was my birthday, Game 7 of the World Series, and obviously I wish nothing but a Cubs World Series win for pretty much the entirety of my lifetime.
It happened.
And it happened on my birthday. I mean, just storybook. The stars were aligned, Brittany. I'm telling you,
Mike. I knew it. I knew it. I never doubted it.
It's incredible. So I actually, I'm in college at the time last year, and I was like, okay, I'm out of class early. This really doesn't happen. I want to be there when it happens. And so Game 7, my birthday, I got to do something. I get my buddy, I take a train, we get to Wrigley, and it's about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we were hoping to get inside somewhere.
Right.
Anywhere, maybe even down towards Southport or even further down in Lakeview because you have to be in the area, but everything was packed. Everything was packed. Lines out the door, weren't moving, one in, one out, and nobody's going to leave.
Of course.
So we were like, all right, well, we got to figure out something here. And it started to rain. We were like, okay, this may have been a bad idea because we didn't have a plan going down to Wrigleyville. So we just posted up outside a bar where they have TVs in the open window, so you can look inside, but we weren't able to sit. And it's about the first inning, Dexter Fowler hits the homer. We're all going nuts. The whole area.
I'm sure.
Entire
I can't even
area
imagine.
just erupt. I've never felt like eruption from a crowd ever. Like other than that, just being a part of that community at Wrigley Field around Wrigleyville. Oh my gosh. So we were sitting there, we gotta find a TV. We gotta sit down and watch this game. And we get a call from my buddy's friend who he hasn't talked to, he said, in about 9 years. So he went off doing his own thing.
Oh boy.
He is now a firefighter. It turns out he was a firefighter for the firehouse across the street from Wrigley Field.
Oh my gosh.
Right on Waveland Avenue. Just
Storybook, Mike.
Literally across the street. He goes, yeah, come on in. We got a TV here. I'm like, are you serious? We busted over there. We get inside and we sit down with firefighters, state police officers, riot people. The whole place was packed. They had cameras from MLB Network because they were like, oops. Yeah, you heard that. They were moving and taking a video of just reactions of the Cubs fans and the people around the firehouse community, and we got to sit in there. We were the only regulars in the building with all these firefighters, state police officers watching the Cubs. They had like a 70-inch TV in their room, so we sat down. We got to watch the game. It was incredible. Ended up winning.
Story.
I'll tell you what though. I will say this, I will never, when they won, it was pandemonium. I mean, I'm talking people down the street.
It's kind of terrifying, actually.
You can't move. And it's as if it's a river of people, and it just continues to move, and you have no choice but to follow the flow.
It kind of picks you up, the whole crowd. That's how it was when they won the pennant.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's like carbon dioxide everywhere. And I felt bad for the people who were like 5'2".
I'm sure.
They're getting squished. They can't breathe.
They're not all tall like us.
We're 6'5", real built.
My 5'7" stature.
Right. Still, I mean, I'll never do that again because of the danger in it. I mean, I'll tell you this though.
Okay.
It was really calm, given the fact of the magnitude of the situation. It was calm. The people were controlled. The Chicago police did such a great job of monitoring everything. I think there was 2 arrests, and they were just from disorderly conduct. It wasn't even rioting.
After all those years, it was very contained.
I have to commend the Wrigley community, the Cubs fans. And 7 million people went to the Cubs parade unofficially.
It's like the 7th largest gathering in human history. Take that, haters, right? All the people over the years. That's another story.
How do you calculate that? The amount of people that are
I don't know. You have people counters? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. You just 1, 2,
like at a bar when you have those things things. I don't know. Maybe that's a big, the city's big, so who knows?
Sure.
I trust the numbers, though.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, it's got to be right.
Absolutely. But see, it's such a big deal because we're going to say this forever. No, you can't take it away from these Cup fans anymore.
You
Like,
can never
they're the
top
champion.
that,
Yeah.
Mike. You just can't. No matter what happens, you just can't top it.
I'm going to buy every documentary. I'm going to buy every.
I want to make one. I really do. I should have done the whole camera thing, but I said I want to enjoy the moment as is.
Good for you.
I don't want a camera in my face, even though I kind of regret it.
Well, no, hey, that's okay.
You can't.
Anyway, and then that was our Chicago Cubs reminiscing conversation. I hope you enjoyed it.
And let me just add one more thing.
Yeah, please do.
So, driving there, which was a memory in itself, going to Cleveland, I can't tell you how many times Allie and I said, I can't believe we're doing this.
Right.
Honestly, if I would have taken a tally, it would have been hundreds. But just the whole thing, I hear a song that was playing that day, it brings me back. So it's just crazy. I have so many good memories, and not just Game 7. So...
Memories. What's your favorite baseball memory besides Game 7? Because obviously,
Right. Probably throwing out the first pitch.
You were able to throw out the first pitch.
I was, yes.
How old were you?
This was only a couple years ago. It was 2013, so let's see.
4 years
20?
ago? Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah, 20. And I made it over the plate.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
How did you get that gig?
It was actually my great stepdad, John, who won it at a golf outing. It was a silent auction, and he knows how much I love the Cubs, and he's a fantastic guy, and he said, you know what? He said, do this. And I started crying.
You
I
have
said,
such
you gotta
a nice
be kidding
family.
Me. I do. I'm really blessed.
Absolutely.
So that was something, I still have the pictures. It's still my cover photo. I think it's going to be like that forever. That picture's never going away.
Don't blame you.
And my other memory, I'm sitting there. It's at the NLCS. I'm sitting in the...
You were at the NLCS.
I was at all the playoff games this year. Yeah.
All of them?
All of them.
Not in Cleveland.
Not in Cleveland, no.
But
it was just Game 7.
Ones?
All the home ones, I was there, and, they do those...
Oh, my goodness. You were at the NLDS.
I saw them clinch. I went to the rooftop after and had champagne and saw all the people pour out, and it was just... I'm telling you, Mike, I got to write a book. It was just... I can't believe it. Yeah. I'm so blessed. But my favorite part was... I'm sitting there, and it's how they play on the Jumbotron. They have some videos of throughout the season. Well, they had this one. It was to like a 21 Pilots song. And I'm looking up there, and I have my Cubs puppet I bring with. He's like a punching guy, and I usually get on TV. Well, I'm watching this trailer, and it's a season highlights, and I see myself up there from a past game. And I lost it. I called my mom. I said, "You can't. I can't believe this. It's a commercial, basically." So that's another memory, just because I wasn't expecting it.
You were in a Chicago Cubs hype video.
Yeah, and I still have it, and I watch it. I tear up.
You should send it to me, and then maybe we can link it to this
Yeah,
post.
I'll send it to you, absolutely.
We'll do that.
And then the other memory is I was Walgreens Celebrity Backend in 06, which was my favorite team, with D. Lee, my favorite Cub.
Oh, the 2006
Oh, yeah.
squad
we
when
still
they
had
lost
Pryor.
96
that
games?
was rough. That game, actually, when I was back kid, they gave us tickets, and I think they lost 17-1 to the Tigers.
Oh, my goodness.
It was a June game, and I said to my mom, can we stay the whole game? She's like, well, if you really want to. My mom, man, the stuff I put her through, she learned a little bit about the team too. But yeah, back kid, I met Maddox. It was family day, so I was able to go on the field, and I just have... Like I said, so many experiences, and I still honestly can't believe them years after.
Near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
I'm so jealous that you're able to experience all of this. My gosh, honestly, that is seriously incredible, being able to not only throw out the first pitch, being at all the playoff games. You're a celebrity bat kid. Are you kidding me?
In 06, too.
So you mentioned that the 06 team was your favorite Cub squad?
They were.
Yeah?
Juan
Pierre?
They sucked, but something about that team with Lee and then, Ramirez batting cleanup. Aramis Ramirez was one of my favorites too. I don't know. I just love that team, and as a kid, that's when I would watch them the most.
Sure, and I think that was starting to build into something. Jim Hendry was still the general manager of the Cubs. He made a move to acquire Soriano in the offseason after that season. So 2007, where they will 85 and 77 make the playoffs.
Right.
That was I think I was really into the Cubs. I've always been into the Cubs. 2007, 2008 was probably the peak before they started to, come back up into reality here.
Exactly.
I'm thinking back to the 07, 08 squads, and they They killed it, especially in 08. 08, I thought, was the year.
I
to be
thought
honest
so too.
with
I
you.
was there and I cried my eyes out when they lost.
Wow, they just blew it in the playoffs. They could not hit. Soriano couldn't hit. Derek Lee couldn't hit. Ramos Ramirez.
It was silent.
Oh, it was bad.
It was bad.
It was very bad. The rotation was Ted Lilly, Ryan Dempster,
Yeah.
Carlos Zambrano.
Oh, Ted Lilly.
And Zambrano, yeah, Ted Lilly. And at the end of, I think it was Zambrano starting in Game 3 when they were down 0-2 against the Dodgers. I was like, well, it's over.
Yeah.
Because Zambrano was struggling at the end of the year, and
Because they lost at home, they were swept. Mm-hmm. So I unfortunately had to witness that. I cried a little bit. My mom had to comfort me.
The fact is, you've been through a lot, and you've had so many experiences. You were actually at games and whatnot. I just that's just so incredible. I'm extremely jealous. Thinking back to my favorite team, you mentioned the 06 squad, even though they were terrible. I think that's kind of romantic, though, because the Cubs, have a history of being bad.
The lovable losers.
Well,
not anymore.
Hey. So we're looking back at 03, and the 2003 Cubs, I
there we
think,
go.
have to be my favorite club because they weren't expected to do really much at all prior to that season, and then they went on this crazy run in the second half of the season.
I know.
So obviously, Sammy Sosa, Kenny Lofton, Moises Alou, Paul Baco. My goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Mark
You're bringing me
Grudzielanek.
back.
They traded.
Grudzielanek.
Yep. They traded for Ramos Ramirez at the deadline. It was great. Alex Gonzalez at short.
Yep.
Who do they have it? Who was that? Eric Karros at first.
Yeah, Eric Karros. Did we get Farnsworth yet? Did we have him yet?
I think Farnsworth.
Or was that 04?
That's a good question.
I feel like
Joe Borowski was he?
Joe Borowski, yeah,
he was
I
there.
remember
Troy
him.
Hawkins,
Yeah.
Ryan Dempster.
Oh, Hawkins, yeah. That was when Dempster, people are like, who is this guy?
He was anyway.
He was relief.
Yeah, of course he was relief. I'm thinking was he a closer? I'm not. I can't.
I don't
remember.
think so. I'm pretty sure he was relief.
Okay,
and then
he was
they
just
moved
late
him.
reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just taking me back. We don't have to talk
No.
about
Oh my
2003,
gosh.
how the way that
No.
ended. We don't have to get into that. But I think that season alone will probably stick out to me forever.
Right.
Because I was a little kid,
Yeah.
and while they were in the playoffs, I was actually in Florida watching the games. So
Okay.
it was like, whoa.
I bet.
Whoa. And really in the Florida area, so many Cubs fans.
Oh, there's, I used to live near Tampa, and that's true. I can verify that.
A lot of Cubs fans.
Because I went to a Rays game, and there was more. Well, it's the Rays, but anyway.
Yeah, I went to a Rays game this past summer.
Yeah, was it fun?
It was a
It's
lot
an
of
interesting
fun.
park. Tropicana Field's
Yeah.
interesting because it was indoors, and I'm like,
It's very
this is weird.
small.
Right.
The
loud.
food's pretty good.
It's pretty loud
I mean,
if they do anything.
well, if fans go, I mean,
Right.
I think 11,000 people were at the stadium when I was
Yeah,
there.
right.
Ugh, but anyway,
It's good for them.
Anyway.
They're going to win someday, too.
So yeah, all right, we got to move on.
Okay.
I love the conversation. You talked about the Cubs relationships that you
Right.
have in the front office. We went over the 2016 season. They won 103 games. They were the World Series champions.
That's right.
Are you ready to move on into previewing 2017?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything else to add, just that I did get 2 tattoos just to commemorate.
Oh, yeah,
that they
yeah,
won.
yeah.
Got my Harry Carey one recently, and then I got a number 16 because how could you not? I was there. I had to. So very special.
Well, there
but
you go.
Like I said, I've enjoyed reminiscing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I could do that anytime,
man,
any place,
anytime.
anywhere.
Sounds good.
We'll talk Cubs
Yeah, absolutely.
right now, actually.
Let's do it.
All right, let's look at the 2017 Chicago Cubs. And
Okay.
I'm going to ask you flat out, are they going to repeat? Because it's very hard to do in baseball.
It's so hard to do, and I don't know the answers. You hope that they do, but at this point, you just won after all those years. You just still enjoy the moment. You go back, you play how you did last year. You just play your heart out. You don't worry too much, and anything can happen, which we know because of last year.
And
So,
yeah.
I have faith, absolutely. They're good. They're growing stronger. They
Yep.
have to stay healthy. That's the thing.
And I think you mentioned it, they were very lucky to be healthy, especially in the rotation.
Oh, I know.
They had absolutely they were the only team in baseball, or one of 2 teams, that had the same starting 5 in the rotation going into September, I believe. They
Right.
really,
Yeah, that's right.
Until
Yep.
they decided to add Adam Warren for a while, and then they
Right.
got rid of him. But, I mean, that was incredible.
They
that
lucked
never
out.
happens.
I know. It was, like I said, the universe.
Right? Everything was aligned.
Yep.
And you had John Lackey, an old
Right.
pitcher, coming in. He pitched very well.
He's 37 now.
And we have to talk about that too. John Lackey in the playoffs,
Right.
last season, he pitched such a huge ball game against the Dodgers,
Yep.
and then he came up huge against the Indians when they were down.
yeah, I know. It was clutch.
That's why they signed him
Right.
to come up in that situation.
There's a lot
and,
of haters, too.
Well, hey, John Lackey eats people.
Right.
But he pitches very well in the playoffs. And, he was huge. You have that stopgap there.
Yeah.
John Lester, arguably the Cy Young Award winner. Obviously, you're going to give it to Max Scherzer. Kyle Hendricks, unbelievable. Just one of the best performances you could have imagined from a guy like Kyle Hendricks, who relies on movement, control, studies. I love Kyle Hendricks. Love him. He's probably my favorite.
He's my favorite. I need to get a jersey ASAP.
So the thing is, when we bring up the starting rotation, because if you look at potential World Series contenders, you have to start with the rotation.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to win without pitching.
Yep.
You look at the starting five, you're getting 4 guys back.
Yep.
You're losing Jason Hamill. He is now in Kansas City. You're also losing Jorge Soler.
Yep, they're gone.
And, Aroldis Chapman, see you later. Thanks for
what you did.
absolutely being a rubber arm. And, we drained him.
Oh, I know.
Cubs drained him.
Yeah. Wow.
That's fine.
But you know what?
He did it.
You lose some, and thank you for everything he did, because
Well, he's got a ring. And he's
he
going to
can
be.
throw. Oh yeah, we'll never forget the team.
Side note, I'm really happy that it wasn't him to get the last out, though. I'm just saying.
Montgomery. Yeah.
Well, Mike Montgomery. Yeah, absolutely. I was happy that it was anybody but Chapman.
I agree with that. I really do.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that either.
Of course.
Just saying.
I mean, oh my gosh. Okay, final thought in the World Series, and then we'll
because it was Carl Edwards Jr.
Yeah.
And then I freaked
it?
out. Oh man.
He got the first 2 outs.
I might need some water.
Are you kidding me, Carl Edwards Jr.? You're about to get the final 3 outs. You weren't even on the active roster
Comes
to
down
start
to,
the season.
to one run.
And he walks a guy, and then what was it? Brandon Geyer driving him in. I think somebody stole a base. Was it Rajay Davis?
It was always Davis.
Yeah.
Just blame it all on him.
Yeah, right. He stole second or something. Brandon Geyer base hit. And, he scores.
Rajay
and he's
Davis.
like, oh my
I hate that
gosh.
name.
Oh, how about it?
It makes my stomach
He's in
turn.
Oakland now. We don't have to deal with him.
It's okay.
Definitely not. So, anyway, going back to that.
Right.
Carl Edwards Jr. taking care of business until he didn't. Mike Montgomery.
And
Miguel Montero, too, his role and everything. Go ahead.
Boy. Hold on. We're going back a little bit.
We're doing it.
Let's see. Was this... Remind me, right?
It was game 1 of the NLCS.
When did he hit the grand slam?
Yeah, game 1 of the NLCS against the Dodgers after the Dodgers tied
Mike,
it.
let me tell you this.
Was it the loudest you've ever been around the stadium?
I thought that it was a 5.2 magnitude earthquake.
Yeah.
And they actually said it could have measured close to, a small earthquake. I've never experienced shaking like that. It was incredible. Like the whole stadium, I've been to plenty of exciting games. I'm telling you, that's probably up there on one of the craziest moments and the best feelings, just because it was electric.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think you could hear that for miles.
Think about what's happening here. The Cubs are in the NLCS for the first time since the year before, when they got swept by the Mets.
Right.
But before that, since 2003.
Yep.
So you're sitting there, and they've been in complete control. John Lester's pitching a great game, and then all of a sudden, Adrian Gonzalez ties it.
Yep.
Right? And the very next inning, Miguel Montero steps in and hits a grand slam. I was actually in Wrigleyville for that
Were
game.
you?
Yeah,
And it was back-to-back. Then Fowler hit one.
And I was actually, I could see the stadium from the place that we were staying. We were in the second deck. I forgot the name of the place we were at. It was on Clark, I believe.
Okay.
But my gosh, we had the view of the stadium, and I couldn't help myself. I would just look out the window.
Yeah.
Because obviously there was. It's a delay on the TV, so I'm looking at the fans, and I just see the stadium erupt.
Yeah,
and I'm like, guys,
this is it,
guys,
yeah,
and then I was going.
That was storybook
crazy.
too, Mike. It really was.
Oh yeah, and we talk about the value of him.
I love him.
I love Miguel Montero. We are good. We are good.
We are.
It started last year or 2 years ago, and so he had an issue late. He came on a sports radio station here in Chicago, and he said that he was kind of upset about his role in the World Series, the way Joe Madden used him. But when you look at what Miguel Montero did, not only did he have the grand slam, he had the go-ahead RBI in Game 7 of the World Series, which was huge, ended up being the game-winning run.
Yep.
And also, he was catching for the final out.
Yeah.
And he worked with Montgomery. And Montgomery was like, he even said it. I don't want to quote him, but he was saying like he wasn't working well in the bullpen. His stuff wasn't working.
Right.
He was kind of like nervous given the situation. I mean, this is it.
Because I know Miggy went out there and talked to him to try to calm him down.
And that too, he if you watch the at-bat again, the final at-bat, he started him off with 2 straight curveballs.
Right.
And I think he got Michael Martinez out on a curveball, which ended up being the tapper up the third base line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just pitcher-catcher battery going on in Miguel Montero knowing the situation. I mean, kudos to Miguel Montero. I got to give a shout out to him.
I love him.
He was great. Terrible
so many good memories.
Defensive catcher. I mean, he's an okay blocker.
Right.
Framing's pretty good. Obviously, he's known for his framing, but he can't throw a guy out.
Boy, was he clutch. Pinch hit.
Love it.
Grand slam. I'm telling you, I don't. Listeners, that it's just listen to that. Just let that sink in. It's just beautiful.
What a memorable postseason! I can't help but keep going back. I mean, when you look against the Dodgers, the Giants in the NLDS.
I know.
They came back twice.
Yeah.
In Game 3, they had a chance to win that game. They tied it at 5, going to 17 innings.
Yep.
Mike Montgomery was unreal, right? And then in Game 4, they score 4 runs in the 9th inning to win the game. Are you serious?
Man.
That doesn't happen. That was the biggest deficit overcome in the 9th inning in the playoffs
really
history, in the entire history of baseball.
My mind was blown.
Couldn't happen. I just couldn't believe it.
It's just, I'm telling you, Mike.
Shout out Javi Baez in that series.
Shout out just to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
these young kids, Brittany, young players.
They're our age. That's the thing. It's like they have all this under their belt already. Chris Bryant. I mean, come on.
Shout out Chris Bryant.
Hey, man, he's
College
listening.
Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, MVP.
He's now married. I mean,
I'm
all this stuff
something.
that just happened for him.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Man.
Anthony Rizzo.
Yep. All the Riz.
Kyle Schwarber, Albert Almora, Javi Baez.
Schwarber leading off.
And the story about Kyle Schwarber.
I know, right? He's playing.
Tears his ACL, comes back. Okay,
within like 3 games. Within like 3 games of the season.
Yeah, no, I know. We got it. I think we covered most of it.
But what do you think of him leading off? Because we lost Fowler to the dreaded Redbirds.
Yeah, let's dive into this 2017 preview here.
Okay.
So Schwarber, slated as the leadoff hitter. I like it a lot. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting because of the players behind him. Okay. I think it causes the pitchers to attack this Cubs lineup in a different way, and you're not really used to the stereotypical speedster not leading off. So you have Schwarber, who can beat you immediately. He'll stand on second base, 2 pitches into the ball game. Then you have Zobrist behind you, Rizzo behind you, Chris Bryant behind you. Like, what? Yeah. This lineup is dynamic. What's your thought?
When I heard about it, I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. Mm-hmm. It's going to be weird, though, because you don't have Dexter anymore. It's an interesting, and especially because where he went. I understand it's a business deal at the end of the day, but you just come off that beautiful championship.
Sure.
And then you just go to them. But you know what? Best of luck to him. I thank him for everything he did for the team. But you got to move on.
He got paid. He deserved to be paid. He's a
great player.
Yeah.
He's going to do great there. It's just a shame. I'd love to see him in Cubby Blue for a few more years,
His value won't be the same in St. Louis.
No.
Because of what the Cubs bring as a whole. I mean, it's just straight up, they're the best team in baseball.
They are.
And they're going to be for years.
It's nice to say it.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to say it. But Schwarbs, he's a great guy. I can't wait to see what he does. But you know what I'd like to see, actually? I feel like the Cubs, they don't, they're not a really fast team. They don't steal a lot of bases. I'm trying to think. I don't want to give the exact number. It was something like they stole like not even 90 bases.
Okay.
I'd like to see them kind of, don't be stupid with it, but, try to.
I mean, you see Rizzo like having his 2-foot lead and then slowly takes off. Yeah. I mean, when you look at this Cubs roster, though, it's hard to find the value in the stolen base there. Because maybe Albert Almora could give you 20 stolen bases. True. If Jason Hayward hits over 220 this year, maybe he can give you another 20, which would be valuable. Did you see Jason Hayward's new swing? You see his new stance?
I did. I actually heard about it the other day, and I had to look into it.
He's got 2 homers in the spring.
Yeah. After that season, I mean, he did the whole speech, so he's incredible. It was an awful season, though, but he plays great defense, and he made some great catches for us. So I just wish him the best. I hope he has a good season.
I think he's going to provide, whatever he provides next year is going to be better than what he did last year.
Absolutely.
So when you look at Hayward, I think the signing, I don't want to call it an overpay after year 1 because that would just show my baseball stupid because there is value in Jason Hayward, but my goodness, he provided almost nothing at the plate last year. It was really brutal.
Boy.
And
it was rough.
And the thing is with Hayward, what the problem was last year, you were taking away a spot for a guy like Baez.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a shame, too.
So that sucks. But in the grand scheme of things, you need Jason Hayward to produce for the Cubs to be successful or not because they were successful without him last year. Pretty much won with 7 batters last season.
Can you imagine, though, if he has a hot season?
Give me 245.
Right.
Hit 245, get on base at like a 330 clip. I'll be happy.
14 home runs, I'd be happy too.
Oh, 14 home runs? Oh boy. If he gets 14 home runs, man.
We'll come back to this and say, wow, she's
like, hey,
good.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. But, also, I'm trying to think, I don't know, I just feel, I have a good feeling, I'm excited for it, but didn't we have John Jay? Right?
Yeah, so let's go over the offseason here real quick. Just a quick recap, and then we'll go into it a little bit more. So, like we said, the Cubs lost. Jorge Soler traded him straight up for Wade Davis. I like the move. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah. Wade Davis. I was going to bring him up.
Yeah, Wade Davis is now slated as a closer. Had arm problems, but we can expect the value that he brings. He's a good pitcher as long as he's healthy. Jorge Soler starting the season on the DL for the Royals.
Right.
Bad.
Yep.
Bad. And that's something the Cubs couldn't deal with. He's very cost-controlled, though, young player. It sucks to see him go, develop throughout the Cubs farm system, but, it was the right move.
Yeah.
So you look at the Cubs bullpen, you're losing Chapman, you bring in Wade Davis. A savvy signing they made, Koji Ohara, he's like 43.
I was looking at
reliever.
some stuff the other day. And is that, how do you pronounce it?
Koji Ohara.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to try it. It's okay. I'll have you say it.
So, I like it. I think he's still got game. You move past him now. The signing of Brett Anderson.
Yes.
How about it? 28 years old, had a lot of problems, injury concerns. He's going to fill that fifth starter spot, which means Mike Montgomery goes to the bullpen, where he had tremendous value last season. You lost Travis Wood, so you look at Montgomery, and it's like, wow, that's huge. Brian Dunsing's starting the season on the DL, which kind of handcuffs the Cubs a little bit. Did you see that they were interested in shopping Matt Caesar?
Yeah, I heard about that. Theo was saying he wanted to do what he can to keep him.
Right.
But I don't know. I like the guy.
Yeah, I think he was one of the more productive guys off the bench last season in terms of pinch hitters. So, you can keep him if you want, but I think at some point you're going to have to make a decision on this, because they're keeping 12 pitchers right now.
You can't keep them all,
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, so moving on throughout this lineup, you mentioned John Jay, absolutely. I'm interested to see how much he plays because I think Albert Almora is just too good not to play.
And if it wasn't for him with that base running move, come on, I know we're going back to it,
Shout out Albert Almora.
Man.
He was
tagging on that.
On the Chris Bryant fly ball to deep center, which I thought was a homer.
That's it. That's the game changer right there.
Yeah, and a great job understanding the situation. Very smart baseball player, young.
Yep.
Tagging up on first, getting second
And
base,
then
and he ended up being...
comes through, Zobrist. You know what? Let me go
MVP.
back real quick.
MVP.
When he did that whole jump in the air, when he made
Did
it
you
to
jump
second.
with him?
Of course. Of course. Probably higher because I was just, running on adrenaline. But when his helmet flew out, it's just, I could watch that
Anthony
over and
Rizzo's
over.
there at third base.
Oh, I know, and he put both hands on his helmet. But anyway, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for...
And how about Almora's diving catch in Game 3 of the NLDS to save the game?
Great reminder.
Oh, yeah.
He's incredible.
No, that's the thing. That's why we're so excited about the Chicago Cubs moving forward. Not only are they defending World Series champions, they have a chance to win multiple World Series over the course of, 10 years?
Yeah,
and
it's
think
a
about this,
dynasty.
too. They re-signed Theo Epstein.
Yep.
And which means, and you talk about the value in that, just a guy having a concrete front office that works well, and you have him for a decade. Do you know how far that pushes an organization into the future in terms of success? Because you're gaining quality prospects for years, and you're stockpiling them over the course of 10 seasons, and that'll get you, 15, maybe even 20 years of value, or at least direction.
Yeah.
So, yes.
I just want to hug Theo. He's incredible.
He's such a great personality, and he gets to the podium, and he's just like, I don't have to be fake up here.
He's a good speaker.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He really is. When he was at the White House, man. Oh, man. Theo, you're the best. Shout out Theo. I'm just so happy right now.
It was so great. He was like, at the parade, he's like, I'm going to go on the 40-day bender or whatever.
Yeah, I know. He's funny,
He's
too.
hilarious.
Just the whole team, they have personality. They're
just flows so well.
It's just dreamy, It is what it is, but Theo is the man, and wow.
Yeah.
He knows what he does his job perfectly.
Oh, yeah. You look at the Chicago Cubs going into really the early 2000s and progressively. They were a very traditional organization in the sense that I guess they were conservative. Yeah, you're filling the ballpark. People are going to come watch the Cubs no matter what. They were making their money, and they really didn't touch Wrigley Field very much. I remember the cinder blocks falling from the rafters,
Oh my gosh.
which was very
and
dangerous.
People would make fun of it and say, "Oh yeah, go to a game and
almost
end up dying."
So, just out of that now and looking at where the Cubs are right now, it's just
Look at us now.
It's so great. You're looking forward to so much ahead, and we touched on it briefly. 2017 Cubs. We expect them to be competitive again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to my question. Do you think they repeat? Because I don't know if you answered it.
I really didn't. It's more of those, like, I kind of answered it, but I didn't. You know what? Because I'm a faithful Cubs fan. I'm going to say they can't. Yeah.
I think
Why
they
not?
can, too.
I think they can, and they have enough momentum still from that win. again, defending world champions.
Right, no big
I have
deal.
to say it again.
No big deal.
Yes, I'm saying it.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it is going to be much more difficult for them to do that this year. Not saying that they can't. My World Series pick, though, is going to be Cleveland. I think a healthy rotation would have beaten the Cubs last season.
Yeah.
And another thing, stars aligned. You had Carrasco and Salazar injured, and you imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Oh,
saw
man.
the trouble that they had against Kluber,
Yep.
and even Mike
Kluber.
Clevenger and Josh Tomlin.
Just the name Kluber. I think I kept saying Kluber is a goober when we were.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying in the bleachers.
I mean, the Cubs saw him three times.
He's talented.
Oh, he's
you
very
gotta
good.
give it to him. But I hated the dude when we were playing him.
Oh, of course,
Hate
because
him.
he dominated in game
gosh,
one. Holy
Kluber.
cow.
It's a nightmare when I hear that word, Kluber.
And you just one more credit to the Cubs.
Okay.
When they took on guys like Mad Bum, they took on
Oh, yeah.
guys like
Oh, man.
Kershaw multiple times. They took on Kluber multiple times.
Kluber.
And they ended up winning. They ended up beating these star-studded
And that
pitchers.
is not easy. Those names right there. Whew.
Absolutely talented,
I can't
all-stars.
even think of the ERA if you combine them for those talented guys.
I mean, probably among the top pitching players in the history of the game.
those are the names you hear.
Absolutely. And Cubs won. Cubs win.
It's crazy, you know. It really is. But I mean,
Sunday.
Sunday. Can
starts.
you believe that?
I know.
I'm so happy.
Yep.
It's something to look forward to, and I've been a fan since I could even talk,
Mm-hmm.
thanks to my great grandma Katie. You know, it's just
Yeah, I'm excited.
it's been a great few years, and I'm just so excited to see the team progress. And no one can hate on us anymore. And I've taken so much heat over the years from everyone, and now it's just nice to see everyone embracing the Cubs, even though they gave us trouble. But it's just a good thing all around, and they won. They did it.
Brittany, so nice to have you on. Thank you so much for
I had a
sharing.
blast.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much. I feel honored to be on.
We talked
Behind the Pen.
Absolutely. We talked your relationships with the
Yeah.
Ricketts family, your experiences at Wrigley
Yeah.
throughout the playoffs and throughout your life. I mean, you threw out the first pitch.
I'm telling you.
Batgirl.
I'm telling
Kidding
you.
me?
Very blessed.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And, I can't wait to see what the future brings. 'Cause
Plenty of opportunity to come.
Absolutely. And I'm very thankful.
Yeah, I'm thankful for you jumping on. It was a lot of fun. Guys, thank you so much for checking into this episode of Behind the Pen, where I specifically talked the Chicago Cubs. Primarily, we went back to 2016. We had a lot of fun reminiscing. We previewed 2017 a little bit. Brittany was an awesome guest. We hope you enjoyed. If you're on YouTube, give us a like down below, drop a comment. Let us know what your favorite Cubs memory was. Let us know your favorite player, team, whatever. Just give us some feedback. We really do appreciate you. If you're on blogtalkradio.com/Behind the Pen, we thank you so very much for sticking around for this full-length podcast. Again, for Brittany Dole, thank you again so much for jumping on. My name is Mike Rankin, and as always, we will see you all next time. Thank you guys for sticking around for this segment of Behind the Pen. If you want more most valuable podcast content, click on the video up above, because I don't know why you wouldn't want to keep listening to our voices every day. But again, guys, thank you all for listening. We really do appreciate you.